TJ,
I'm Ted.
and welcome to the first episode of Triple T, TJ and Ted's Takes. Today we're going to have a little debate over what's better. I got football,
And I'm taking baseball.
and I'd say let's just kick right off. Football, play with the football, 11 people on the field,
Yeah.
NFL, obviously, college football, pretty popular in America. I'd say it's starting to branch out a little bit here
Yeah.
and there into other, there's a Canadian Football League. They're trying to get more actual NFL games into other countries. Like there's games in Germany. The Vikings just had a game in London last year.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like about it? I mean, it's Thanksgiving football, can't go wrong. Christmas football. Obviously, we got the Super Bowl, big day in February. But yeah, I'll let Ted give a little background on baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty similar for baseball. You know, you got 9 guys on the field, pretty big rosters, but same as NFL and college football. There's the MLB, there's college baseball, Electric College World Series down in Omaha. That's a huge culture thing for baseball. They're also branching out to other countries and stuff. They got series in Mexico. They just had one in South Korea. That's the first time they played games there. I think that was big because out in Korea and Japan, there's a huge baseball culture. People think it's just baseball in America, but in reality, it's huge in the Dominican Republic, huge in South Korea, huge in Japan. But it's a huge culture that's starting to spread across the whole world, I think.
But I think I will have to give the baseball on that. It's worldwide. It's a lot bigger than football. But I just kind of want to get into start off like small. Just what football's done for me. I've been playing football since I don't know how long. I played flag football when I was a kid. It's a great way to just start playing. Like you can always play pickup. We played elementary school during the snow. Like
Oh, yeah.
the greatest times. Like I'm a big kid, so whenever they would hand me the ball off in the snow, I'm walking with 30
Oh, yeah.
people on my back. That's the most fun I've ever had, in elementary school. 7th grade, I started playing tackle football. I mean, it changed my life. It made me want to lose weight. Like, it made me, like, really enjoy sports, like, make so many new friends at school. Like, the way it just kind of, like, builds community with, like, the 10 other guys you're out there with. I mean, it's shown, and I feel like I'm a good representative for it. I don't want to be, cocky or anything, but I am 2-time captain now. It's going into my senior year of football, and I can't wait. I mean, football has just done so much for me. I mean, my boy Ted right here.
Yes,
Play
sir.
football with this guy all the time, every fall. I love it. But
Yeah. No, I got to say, football definitely, like, that elementary school, the recess, that's some of the best times of your life right there. I got to give that to you. That's a good football memory for me, too. But as far as baseball goes, I mean, I've been playing baseball for, I feel like, my whole life at this point. Started really young in Little League. Little League is huge. In St. Louis Park, too, there's a big Little League community. Our high school team volunteers with them quite a bit. And I think those are some of the best memories of my childhood is just playing Little League baseball with my friends. Before it gets too serious, you just play your heart out. And I think that's a huge part of baseball for me is just that childhood aspect. And then also just, playing wiffle ball games with your friends, just picking up the bat and just playing in your backyard whenever because that's just what we do in the summer. And I think that's a huge part of my childhood and a lot of other people's as well.
For sure. I mean, I personally never played baseball as a kid, but going to baseball games is always a big thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
Now, I'd say let's start getting into the nitty-gritty. Let's start ramping this up. First off, I'm going to say best athletes. Got to go to NFL. Dude, look at Myles Garrett, Justin Jefferson, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Insane athletes. Bo Jackson played in the MLB and in the NFL. You look at people like Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, all drafted to the MLB, which is baseball, I might add, as well as playing in the NFL. I mean, you see all the freak athletes out there, like Derrick Henry, 6'2", 245, running through, like, grown men. Like, it's insane how athletic and how exceptional all these people are in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I see that too. That's for sure. I think they have the better athletes, but at the same time, I think at some point it just gets to the point where baseball has the more, like, talented because it's I feel like it's so much harder than football just as far as like hitting a ball that's coming at you 100 miles an hour and there's off speed pitchers have off speed and breaking balls with location. That's just so hard to see. And you notice the guys that get drafted into both MLB and NFL usually tend to be better at football because baseball it's just hard. I think it's a harder sport. There's so much that goes into the mechanics of a baseball swing or a pitcher's stride. I think it's easily the most technical, and there's definitely the most room for error. As you see, like, the greatest hitters of all time, they fail 7 times out of 10, if you can hit 3 out of 10 balls, you're the greatest player of all time. Like it's just that hard of a sport to where failure is just so accepted that it's just that hard.
But then, I mean, you got to look at, like, 11 people on the field. You have a whole O-line that has to work together. Like, obviously, you think, oh, maybe these O-line aren't as athletic. But then you think about it, dude, center has to snap the ball. Everybody has to take their proper steps. If one step is off, the play is cooked. I mean, left tackles literally protecting their quarterback's life out there.
Yeah.
Because most quarterbacks are right-handed, as you know. And when you're throwing with your right hand, back is to the left side. Somebody comes screaming out the left edge. Quarterback is dead. Wide receivers, you got to catch the ball in traffic, running about 20 miles per hour on average, as well as catching with somebody in your face, sometimes even 2 people, depending on who you are, especially like Justin Jefferson. I mean, double coverage. Like, all I'm saying is go back and look at the Bills Vikings overtime game last year. Nobody's making that catch except for Justin Jefferson on 4th and 13, double coverage, one-hand catch over a guy. I mean, it doesn't get harder than that.
I think I agree, too. There's times where, and most of the game, too, football is just more nitty and gritty, definitely more physical. There's definitely the physical aspect of football is for sure harder, but I think for baseball, mentally, it's so, I've played both sports, and I think baseball is easily mentally way harder because there are times where you'll go 2-3 weeks without getting a hit maybe, and you're just so at such a low point. I just think it's easier to stay consistent in football, and obviously it's still a physically hard game, but mentally baseball just beats you up. It's something that almost every baseball player I know has struggled with, and that's the part of the game that I think definitely is the hardest. It's just the mental aspect of it.
I get that. That's a good point. But then I have to say, like, also, like, getting drafted into the NFL. Like, you know how insane of an athlete you have to be? Like, there's so many people that are insane that just go under the radar and are never given the chance. Like, and I feel like for baseball, I'm not saying it's easier, but also baseball, I mean, you pitch one fastball. Like, obviously I don't know a whole lot, but I'm saying you pitch one fastball and, like, boom, you're on the spot. But, like, football, you could have an insane high school career all your 4 years, and then you just never, it depends on where you are. If you live in Montana and you're playing, people that you have to move an hour away out for each game, but you're doing insane, you still might not get noticed. Like, I feel like it's a lot harder to get on an NFL team because especially it has to do with a lot more size, whereas baseball, I feel like it's a little more forgiving when it comes to height and that kind of thing. Like, no hate against these guys, but, like, Bolon,
Bartolo Colon, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty average-looking guy. And he's in the MLB. Like, he does nothing really too special. Like, obviously, he's a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
He was a good pitcher, but, stuff like that. Or my boy Danny Burgers, I love him representing the big guys. But, hey, I mean, he's,
yeah, he's just an
special,
average-looking
but he's
guy,
in the MLB, and I just think that's crazy. Because then you look at somebody like Destroying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is, 6'2", like, maybe 195, just
he's jacked.
And he's a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kicker. He kicks the ball, doesn't have to hit anybody, and he still has the insane physique, like, insanely genetically gifted, just to be a kicker.
Yeah.
And he's not even in the NFL, technically. I mean, he was on path to be, all this stuff, NIL and stuff. But still, like, I think it's insane, like, how physically gifted you have to be. And that just shows, like, how much more talent you have to put into it when you get that big. Or even if people who aren't that big, like, you look at Vaughn, let's say, on the Dallas Cowboys. 2-year running back, came from Kansas State. He's about 5'5".
Yeah.
You know how good you have to be to make it to the
shifty,
NFL at 5'5"? Average running back height in the NFL is about 5'9", 5'10". He's 4 to 5 inches underneath that, and he still made it to the NFL roster.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. I think the physical part of football is, like, you pretty much have to be gifted, which is not the nice thing about baseball is you don't. It's way more forgiving for sure. But the part where that kind of like, as far as the MLB draft goes, like, so many people would get drafted, but it's so hard to make it up that draft system. You have to start in low A ball, and then work your way up. But then also just like, you have to work so hard because that's where, if everyone has a chance to make it, you have to work so hard to make that. Like, I see a lot of football athletes, like, no hate, but, like, there's a lot of guys that don't really seem to put a lot of work in, but they're still super talented. And that's just, you don't really see, that's sort of a drop-off. You don't really see that in high school baseball very much. Most of the guys that are really good are the really hard workers. And I just think if you want to make yourself stand out in baseball, you have to work really hard and be really good. Or as far as football, if you're gifted with the size, you're probably going to do fine no matter what. you have to be a pretty bad athlete to not be good at football if you're 6'7", 290. Like, that's just where I see that.
That's
kind
fair.
of side
I will
of
give
it.
you that. That I think having the size is definitely like like an advantage because like it's so much more fun to go out there and watch like freak athletes. Like I mean,
Yeah.
6'8", 6'7" guys just go out there and dominate in the field. But obviously, at the same time, yeah, there are so many people that don't work, and I get where you're coming from. We talk about as like impacts on like social life. Like I think football, and especially in America, is so dominant. Like it Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they're from what September to February, just
Yeah.
constant football. That's all you hear talk about is football, football, football. I mean, when it's college football, it could be the two most random teams you've ever heard of, and it'll be one of the best games you've ever watched. Or I mean, you got NFL games, you got Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football. You got when you get, especially when it's around January, you got the playoffs. Never know what's going to happen there. College football, and now they're expanding it, which is even better because obviously, like bowl games are a lot of fun to watch, and everybody loves going to a bowl game. I mean, seeing their team fight for a ring, like what's there not to like? I mean, all the parties you have, Thanksgiving. That's my family. It's a signature.
Yeah.
You watch football on Thanksgiving every year.
For sure. Yeah.
Christmas, I go down to Georgia. When I'm there for Christmas, we're watching football. We're watching bowl games. We're watching, if I'm there long enough, we're watching the college football playoffs. I mean, we're watching Christmas Day games. I mean, there's NFL knows perfectly when to place their games. Like they know how to bring in people's audience when people are at home looking for something to watch. Football is usually on.
Yeah, I agree. The buzz of football is for sure like unmatched as far as college and NFL. Where I come from baseball is just like as a baseball player too, I just think it's like as soon as baseball season starts, it's just a whole like my entire like my life just feels different. Like you just kind of there's like an energy that you don't like. It's like subconscious almost, and it's like it's such a good feeling. Also, because like as baseball's starting too, you know, school's starting to wrap up a little bit. You know, you're in the home stretch of whatever high school. Kind of summer's starting up, and that's just like the best time of the year, I feel like. So when baseball is starting during the best time of the year, I just relate baseball to like good times, I feel like. And overall, like in the summer too, you know, you got 4th of July. It's just like I feel like that's the peak time of the year. And like when baseball's on in the background, you're just like there's no better feeling. And there's also 162 regular season games, so you can literally watch a game almost like if you're in the middle of June, random day, like baseball game's probably going to be on. And as far as going to baseball games too, like you go to the ballpark and let's say you don't want to go to a Twins game or something, that energy is just awesome. Every game I went to, there's great food, the music and like local promotion is awesome there. The energy is just always there when you're in like at a game for baseball. Like it's just like a classic summer thing to do. Just go to a game with your buddies, you know, beautiful day out in July and just watch some baseball. I think that's just an unmatched feeling for me.
Like baseball, it's always nice when you're able to go out, do something fun. Well,
Yeah.
it's nice outside. Football, you're pushing it a little bit when it's wintertime games.
Because it's also just I feel like it's pretty expensive to go to football games too. Like baseball games, you can get in for really cheap and just kind of go to a lot of them.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
And then just the last couple of things I want to talk about is just like celebrity impact, like how popular it is with people. I feel like obviously favorite thing to talk about when it comes to football because I feel like she dominated it for so long. But Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, you know, I mean, what that did to expand the NFL, like the NFL knew exactly what they were doing, trying to expand their, you know, fan base. Like the amount of, you know, moms, not trying to be like, you know, but like a lot of moms, a lot of teenage girls,
the demographic for sure changed.
Expanded massively when Taylor Swift was getting posted on the NFL, ESPN, Sports Center about her with Travis Kelce or her being at the games. I mean, football is just on the rise right now, in my opinion. I think football is really expanding, and they definitely know what they're doing to try to expand. And I mean, right now we're in the middle of NFL free agency, a lot of buzz going around. I mean, big moves. Derrick Henry, big name to the Ravens. Saquon, big name to the Eagles. Saints fan, just lost our boy Kirk.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Kirk Cousins to the Falcons, but hey, I mean, that's what makes the NFL so fun. It's just the ups and downs, like getting to see, like, because like when you have a team that you're a fan of, like I know we're both pretty good Vikings fans.
Yeah.
When you have a team you're a big fan of, I mean, it's hard to like separate yourself from them. Like whenever I talk about the Vikings, it's always I'm always talking about we. Like when I say we just picked up Aaron Jones, like I act like I'm a Viking too. And I mean, it's just like once you find a team to like latch onto, it's just the ups and downs when you lose a playoff game, when you're
Yeah.
going to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's something not to love. Like
I know.
it's something that gets
Yeah.
you going all the time.
That's for sure something I just feel like that's like kind of universal as far as sports goes too. Like I feel that from my like baseball teams and stuff. I think that's just a great part of sports in general too. But as far as football goes, for sure, like the off season has a lot more buzz than baseball. Like in baseball, we had like Shohei Ohtani. That was a huge signing.
I did hear about that one.
That one was a big one. There wasn't a ton of trades though. I guess Juan Soto to the Yankees, that was pretty big. But like
It's my favorite player.
it's not like there's not a ton of buzz like nearly as much as football, I feel like. And I think football is definitely expanded too, like you said, but like they're getting broadcasted a ton. And I think baseball, like we need a little something more to get that to expand, just like the NFL, because the MLB does a good job, but the NFL definitely does a better job at expanding and broadcasting themselves and just promoting themselves.
That up, I think we should do a little like point-based ranking. Like let's do one or the other. So
Okay.
to see who kind of won this debate today.
All right.
So let's start off with like childhood, like for our
Childhood.
childhoods. I think obviously I gotta go football.
I would close. I think, but I could go either way. So I'd probably give that to you because I played football as a kid too, and just recess, that kind of stuff it's just a lot. Everyone can relate to that one. So I'll give that one to you.
All right, we'll go one for football right now. Let's go fan base.
Fan base. I think this goes to baseball just because the fans, like the energy at the stadium too. I think the fan base is just crazy. I think that's the loyalty too that's a big one for me. I think
I got to give baseball too. I got like it hurts to say like obviously you look at the Eagles fans, but I mean
Yeah.
at the same time it's MLB's worldwide. I got to give it to you.
Yeah.
Popularity, I got to give it to baseball. Like I just said, it's
Yeah.
worldwide.
I think that's a big one too.
Everywhere you go. I mean Japan,
Yeah.
South America, it's baseball.
Yeah. Just everywhere.
Our next category we could do. Let's go athletes.
Athletes?
Like players. I gotta
Yeah.
say, like I said, I gotta say football.
I'm gonna say that's gonna go to football too. They're just the pure genetic, athletic freaks that are in the NFL is just so impressive. So
All right.
I'm gonna take that to the NFL.
Let's go cost, like enjoyability to watch, like cost, enjoyability, kind of like
Yeah.
getting out to the events.
I would say baseball just because it's a lot cheaper and there's a
I-
lot more events. You
I would say
can go to.
baseball too. Baseball's a lot cheaper. And let's go one more category. Let's say impact, just like impact overall. Kids
Yeah.
on the generation, us, kind of our playing careers so far.
Mhm.
Mine has to go football.
Yeah, I think I've played both sports, obviously, and I think the impact that football has had on me is like the culture is like really nice. It's kind of just it's like a brotherhood on our team. I feel like, and that's a huge one, for me at least. Like that connection. So I'd give that to you too.
All right, and then I did say one more, but I'd say
Tiebreaker right here.
tiebreaker because we're even at 3-3 right
Yeah.
now. Good tiebreaker. Let's say so it's kind of odd one, but let's go college playoffs.
College playoffs. Oh, that's a close one. Baseball's is really good
I do like watching the College World Series. I'll give you that.
because I think for football, like if it was this time next year, I would say I would give it to football.
I would give it to
because,
football
but
'cause-
right now the only 14 playoff is just not. I don't
Yeah,
think that's
the
gonna cut
14
it.
playoff isn't enough, man. I need to see more.
Yeah.
And College World Series. Hey, I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I'll tell you when it's on, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
So I'll give that to baseball.
But hey, next time this year it might be football. We'll
So-
see. Yeah.
The final score of 3 for football and 4 for baseball. We have baseball taking this one away today.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to Triple T,
Triple T.
and we'll be back soon with another episode.